order, and if we could just all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay.
So should I just first and second everything on the agenda or what?
I don't know. I don't know. Attorney Baldwin. How does that work?
Brenda, you can second it.
Okay, very good. Thank you. All right. Okay, so before I go into all of our items, most of these are just contracts, but I just want to say that I'm not going to announce public comment at the end of each one. If a resident is on the line, which I don't really see anybody, please let us know if you want to. You can go in the chat function and let me know if you want to speak on any item, and I'll make sure you can. Okay, so the first item is to hear and consider and authorize the purchasing authority to enter into a proposed contract with Resource Services to perform demolition services at 244 Greenfield Street for a total amount not to exceed $25,000 with additional authority to execute change orders of the contract not to exceed $2,500. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Okay, second. I just want to say before I open it up to Mark and Gerald, this is the property, Tom, we spoke about before that we purchased for our own affordable housing that we're going to work on. And so this is the first part of that. And and I just want to, for the record, obviously all of these items have been reviewed by the town attorney and by the purchasing director. And so I'll open it up. Mark, do you want to give a little quick overview?
Yeah, just thank you. Just briefly for the board, this is to demolish and abate and demolish the existing structure on property. It's currently vacant. There is some concern. That's why we're asking for your action on it. We don't want anyone to take up residence in the place since it's vacant at the moment. This is being funded through community development block grant dollars to facilitate the redevelopment of property for affordable housing. And we just want to give our preferred development partner, Habitat for Humanity, a clean slate with which to then do the affordable housing development on the site. So I'll be happy to answer any questions that members may have. Thanks,
Mark. Go ahead, Tom.
Mark, where's the funding for this coming from?
Federal Community Development Block Grant dollars.
That's what I thought. I thought I heard you say that. Thanks. The other item, so I know Attorney Baldwin, I'm just going to ask, I know First Selectwoman and Brenda, thank you for saying it. I know you reviewed all the contracts. Can you, if you've had any issues with any of the contracts, because every once in a while, Jim, you say, hey, in all material respects, we're good. I've got a couple outstanding things. Can you just please pipe in when it comes to those items, please?
Yeah, I will do that. There are, I think, 2 such contracts that need technical revisions to them. I'll let you know when that happens.
Thank you for that. And also, Mr. Foley, can you just, I know Brenda said you reviewed everything. Everything's in accordance with our policy, our purchasing policies and all that. Can you just, is he on? Mr. Foley?
Yep, I was muted, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I reviewed the bid submissions and everything is in order.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you. So, Mark, we've done a lot with affordable housing. Last year, I remember we approved buying a bunch of homes or a bunch of properties in order to put things together. Can we get a report out, not this meeting, Madam First Selectwoman, on where we stand with some of the affordable housing items that we acted upon over the last couple of years? I just want to know exactly where that stands.
Yes.
Because we were putting things together, putting parcels together. So
I think Mark can send an email update to the board.
I will do that.
Thank you.
Okay. I've got nothing further on this particular item. I remember it.
Right. Very good. I don't think there's any member of the public. I don't see anybody in the chat. Okay, very good. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And Madam First Selectwoman, I'd like to make a motion for the rest of the items on the agenda. We can waive the formal reading if you just want to give a summary of the items. That'd be, I'd appreciate that.
I second that. All in favor? Aye.
Aye. It's the easiest vote Brenda's ever had.
Okay, so our next one, we have Gerald, Mark, again, and RT Director 2, who's going to present. This is regarding a contract for revised software systems for redesign, development, implementation, hosting of the town's website. I just want to say before, I don't know if Dave, I can't see him, but Dave Kelly, you know, Dave and our chief of staff for the town have actually put a lot of time and effort into this. I know most people don't see the behind the scenes stuff that happens in town, but they did, and Mark Barnhart, they put a lot of time interviewing, reviewing, really making sure that we got the best one that's going to serve all of the needs. As you know, this is something that was on the priority list for me when I first came in. I felt like this website was so outdated, so antiquated, and this new one is going to be really great. So I just wanted to thank Jackie, Mark, and Dave for their efforts on putting this and making sure we got a good one. So do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. And Dave, are you on?
It's actually going to be me, Brenda. So we have Dave and Mark on, and unfortunately, Mary Mao, who's our webmaster, also did a lot of work on this, and she couldn't join us for the call. But I'm just going to share my screen quickly, and hopefully it'll work, and we won't have any issues. Can you see that okay?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Jack.
Great. All right. So I just want to quickly, as you may know, our website is very clunky. It's very old. It was launched in 2013. It's not friendly to the public, and it's really not that friendly to the people using it on the back end either. So our goal was to, you know, find a company that can design us a brand new website that would be easy to use. As I said, Mark, myself, Mary, and Dave put together the RFP. We had 8 proposals. They varied greatly in price and experience, but we really just wanted to find someone who particularly had experience in municipal websites, because I think that's a very unique website design and build compared to just your general company. So we narrowed it down to 3 finalists. As Brenda said, we did have some in-depth interviews and conversations. Revise was selected, and as you can see, they have over 2,500 government websites nationwide with a 20-year track record. So that certainly made us feel comfortable. And when we got down to the end of it, it was a difficult choice. There are a couple of companies who are competitive in this space, but we are, I think, very happy with Revise, and certainly Mark or Dave, if you want to chime in at any point, please feel free to. I'm just quickly moving through here. Some of the main features that we wanted to highlight here, the public service request app, which is what we currently use as Q Alert, obviously calendar, e-notification modules that work, that are more integrated into the system. So with the agenda builder and sending out agendas, it's actually a much easier process for the staff. Online payment portals, facility reservations, I think that's going to be something that'll be extremely helpful to some of our larger departments, namely Park and Rec. Bid posting, there's social media integration for all the different departments that utilize it. The online form builder will be a huge upgrade, certainly, so we can get rid of PDF forms. The e-newsletter application, a lot of departments send out some type of newsletter, so this can take the place of whatever system. I know a lot of people are using, MailChimp or Constant Contact, so that will make that process easier. There's a FOIA request tracker, a real estate finder, a language translator right on there, and certainly ADA compliance is important, and it automatically takes care of that feature for us, so that's really great. So it includes a 4-year redesign, which is really nice. So in 4 years, we could kind of refresh it, give it a new feel and look. There's trainings constantly. So obviously we'll have trainings when we get it up and running. And then they have constant trainings available for existing users, video tutorials. They have pretty good support system in place. And certainly if there's a crisis or any sort of issues, they will respond within an hour, which is good. And then finally, the cost, this wasn't the most expensive, and it ended up being, I think, one of the cheaper for the yearly fee. I think we're currently actually paying about $16,000 a year in our ongoing fees. So this is a significant reduction to that, which is quite nice. And they offer, they in terms of a timeline, I just want to end with, these things take time. Obviously, this is a priority. We want to get it up and running. I think all the departments will benefit from this greatly. And, hopefully, by the end of this year, we'll have a new website, but hopefully sooner. That's just sort of where we are right now. We have a long road ahead of us. We have a lot of content to migrate over. So with that, I don't know, Mark or Dave, if you want to add anything, and then I'll turn it back over to the board.
I don't have anything to add. I think you did a really good job there. It is kind of interesting that not only will this be a new, fresher website, it will be a lower cost to the town. And also in this year's budget, and I've held off on it to see what website provider we ended up with and what feature they had, I had requested funding to put in a forms handling system, but the forms developer within this website looks pretty good. So we may be foregoing that $15,000 a year product. We'll see. We'll have to try it and see if we like it well enough. But yeah, this is a good-looking software, and it's also a bit of a cost saver for us.
Thank you, Dave. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, thanks. Couple questions. The look and feel, are we going to have a common look and feel across all the departments and all the websites in town at this point?
Yes, and actually that was one of the great things that for like some of the bigger departments who kind of need their own website in a sense. They'll be able to kind of make it their own, but also streamline it so it looks nice and so they all are kind of looking the same. So yes, that is our intention.
And Jackie, this is going to be kind of a gateway. You come to the Town of Fairfield website and you click through and you can go to each of the individual departments for what you need. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
And you'll be able to, will you still be able to, if I want to go to the Fairfield Park and Rec website, I'll be able to do that directly and it'll still be on the same platform?
Absolutely, yes. And the goal is to have everything easily findable, which right now is certainly the case.
Right. And anything that will be able to be paid online, we'll be able to do it through this website, right?
Yep.
You mentioned the timeline. Who's going to project manage this over the next 8 months or so to get this up and running, and who's responsible for the day-to-day management and keeping the software developers on task? I have some experience there, and if you leave them to their own devices, this thing could take a long period of time, and that's no disrespect to your vendor. It's just the way these things go.
Yeah, no, lucky me. I think that's going to be me. This is budgeted in Mark's department, but he and Mary and I and Dave will continue to work closely together. But we've reached out to the department heads and asked for everyone to kind of assign a person in the department so that we have a go-to so that we can make sure everyone's in communication and up to speed. And it's going to be quite a process. Certainly, I'm motivated to get it done quickly because we just need it. So, but that'll be me.
Okay. And Dave, do you have any technological concerns on this? Are you all set from your side of the fence, and anything you have to do to support these efforts?
I'm all set. This is all, of course, cloud hosted, not too unlike our existing site. So all the software updates, backups, things like that happen with the vendor. We have to put our faith in them that they do a good job of it and can recover the site if somebody vandalizes it or something. But the company seems to be quite reputable at doing this kind of thing, quite successful at it. So I don't have any major technical concerns. My concern to your previous question is that the vendor has proposed, I'd say, a fairly aggressive schedule to get the site up. I think it's over 4 months, which frankly, I think we will struggle in town to keep up with them if we're lucky. but,
Yeah, and then what happens is that I've seen that, and then what happens is they might lose their resources to other projects. So that's where my area of concern is, right? It's just you guys need to be completely aligned. Have you had any pushback from any of the departments that are giving up functionality or anything like that in their own website? Are they happy to have this coming on board?
We haven't really had an in-depth, here's what we're doing with the department head yet. I asked for input when we first started. Is there anything you need, can't lose, any new features you're looking for? So we sort of had that, but now we'll have to have our initial meeting and kind of start that process going forward. So I don't, this is head and shoulders better than what we have. I think eventually they'll all appreciate it, but certainly change is always a process. So.
Yeah, I would imagine you're going to have to allow for some time for that. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you very much. I've got no other questions on this.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Good luck on this, guys.
Yeah, this is going to be great, actually. Looking forward to it.
Break out your no-dos there, Jackie. You're going to be a busy lady over the next few months.
Yep. She's always busy. Okay, our next items, Sans, I'm just gonna take 5 and 6 together. Is that helpful?
That is fine with me.
Okay. So I need a motion to for items 5 and 6. This is regarding estimated revenue from state grants in the amount of $252,155.11 for Fairfield's health department's response to COVID and emerging infections. And the second item is regarding a $50,000 federal grants, $50,000 to cover the cost of Fairfield's continued efforts to develop Fairfield's Medical Reserve Corps to continue to promote the integration of the MRC unit. So do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you. Second, and I'll hand it over to you, Sam.
Sure. So these are two grants. One is from originally the first one, the 252-155, originates from the federal government through the state, and this is epidemiology and laboratory capacity grant that funds ongoing COVID activities, and along with that comes certain deliverables that we will do with that funding. And then the second grant is a Medical Reserve Corps grant that one of our newer staff members, Kim Wynn, took it on herself to apply for and received a $50,000 grant from the National Association of County and City Health Officials, which is also from the federal government. And that'll help do a recruitment and training plan for our Medical Reserve Corps over the next 6 months.
Thank you.
Sure.
Tom?
Sans, can you just define what your Medical Reserve Corps is going to do, what you're using it for, please?
So it's called the RISE grant, which is about recruitment, recruitment and training, and so we are going to have sometime in September during Preparedness Month a recruitment campaign for new volunteers. Then we'll have training sessions for them, onboarding them, and then in addition we'll have an annual education session that we typically have for our Medical Reserve Corps later in the fall next year. So that's really what it'll be. And the funding will go towards, about half of it goes towards staff hours, and then, or I should say about 60% of it goes to staff hours, and the rest is going to go to things like, vests that have the MRC logo on it, lab jackets, medical lab coats for the doctors and nurses that have the MRC logo on it, and a few other items like that, a new ID machine to issue IDs for them, and the supplies that go along with that.
I guess what I'm asking, it just kind of explain to the public, what do these people do for the town? Like,
oh, sure. So the Medical Reserve
Yeah.
Corps is 294 members of the public that have signed up to help with public health emergencies. So, for example, during COVID, we had about 30 to 40 volunteers consistently showing up to clinics. We had individuals showing up to dozens of clinics for us, working alongside our school nurses and other staff, vaccinating, checking people in, just doing crowd control, watching them in the recovery room. So our Medical Reserve Corps really stood up and did thousands and thousands of hours of time for us just through COVID recently. And they've done the same since they started in 2005. Of anytime we have clinics or any kind of expanded need for the health department, these are the volunteers that come and support us.
Thanks very much. I appreciate that.
Sure.
I've got nothing further, Brenda.
Okay. I just want to say they're amazing. We couldn't have made it through COVID without their help. They just really stepped up to the plate to help the town and help our health department. I mean, our health department was working 24/7 as it was. Without their help, we simply wouldn't have been able to pull it off. So kudos to them. All right, I'm going to take item number 6 first. We have a motion and a second. I'm sorry, item number 5, a motion and a second. All in
Aye.
favor? Aye. And then item number 6, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Thanks, Sans.
Thank you.
That's the quickest vote you've ever gotten, Sans.
Yes, I appreciate it. Off to Board of Health tonight.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Item
Thanks much.
Item number 7. Do I have a motion to hear and consider and authorize purchasing authority to enter into a contract with Bismarck Construction Company to perform bathroom renovations at the Firehouse number 2, Station 2 on Jennings Road for a total amount not to exceed $272,000 with additional authority to execute contract to not exceed $27,200 for a grand total amount not to exceed $299,200. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second, and I just want to note that this is a 20-year on the capital. And so I will open, Chief, did you want to?
Yeah, just
off?
as you know, this is a project that we've been working on, and this is our newest station, and the bathrooms are 50 years old. The building was built in 1973 and have not been renovated, so this is an important priority for 2 particular reasons. One, to provide handicap access in all of our facilities. This is the first major renovation for bathrooms that we'll do. And secondly, to accommodate female firefighters. There will be separate bathroom facilities for women in the building. An important upgrade that has been long needed, and even more so with the recent addition of 2 female firefighters.
Thank you, Chief. Go ahead, Tom.
Quick question for you. So, Chief, I was obviously, we've spoken before, and I've supported the renovation of the firehouses given the age and some of the issues that have been there. I was surprised that this was so expensive for one firehouse to do essentially $300,000 worth of bathrooms. Is this a standard? What's going on there? $300,000 even to the general public, it sounds like a house. So what's why a bathroom? What makes this so unique that it's going to cost that amount of money?
So one, it's demolishing a very hardened facility, concrete block, tile floors, tile walls. All of that demolition needs to occur. It's operating within an operating 24/7 fire station, so making accommodations for gutting that and then rebuilding while maintaining essential services out of that station. It's not a station that we can close and relocate companies to another station. And it includes, a space that is adjacent to the dormitory that would have to be gutted and then subdivided into men's and women's bathrooms, as well as 2 other bathrooms on the other side of the building. And lastly, providing for a temporary facilities within the structure so that we can operate while the renovation is going on. It is much higher than we anticipated. Some of the estimates that we originally received when we requested funding for this were much lower. I can tell you that we did get 3 competitive bids, or we got 3 bids in a competitive process, and Bismarck Construction was low by $68,000.
Wow.
Yes, I am equally frustrated by the escalation of costs that has occurred during COVID, but it's consistent with what we have seen throughout the industry, and certainly under advisement from James Ryan and Gerald Foley as well.
So did you expect the budget for this? Did we exceed the budget for this? Or are we within the budget for this?
So we have been appropriating $250,000
Right.
each of the fiscal years. That money goes to general renovations. This comes out of a total rehab budget that we have available for that. Currently available $699,000. So essentially half of what our available balance is.
So we have the budget for it. We're not getting as much done as we thought would get done for those dollars.
And that is true of every project that we have undertaken, overhead doors being the other large one that we have had to, revise our expectations and do one station at a time just because of the extraordinary costs involved.
What is the time frame for getting this done?
3 months.
3 months. I know you don't want to delay it, and I know it's 50 years old, but has there been any discussion of if you delayed it, would you get more done next year?
We did have that discussion, and particularly with James Ryan, there is no end in sight of the high costs of construction. Some materials have come down, but not significantly enough to consider doing another project. As I said, the other projects that we have looked to accomplish have similarly high prices. This is one that, and we focused on this station because this is the station that needs both handicap access and female firefighter bathroom. So if there is any reason, overwhelming reason to move forward on this, is because we need those facilities in this particular station. And we've put off work at Station 5 and Station 1 on Greenfield Hill and Reef Road, particularly for the reasons that you suggested. They're not as urgent as they are at Station 2.
Got it. Mr. Foley, any concerns giving the bids that's a huge price differential of $68,000? I don't want to spend more money, but is there anything concerning? Was there a misunderstanding in the bids? I mean, what happened there?
No, so we did have a scope review meeting with the low bidder, which was Bismarck, and they had a full understanding of the bid. I think it's just the perception. So in this particular bid, we had bid all 3 stations. We had done Station 1, Station 2, and Station 5. As the chief had alluded to, though, the costs were all much higher than we expected. So we had to basically divide and conquer. And so our concept here is just to do one station at this time, and then we're going to back out to bid for the other stations. So we're kind of doing what you'd suggested, is we'll be leaping forward. But the point is that this station was as old as the chief had alluded to, that we felt that we're not necessarily going to do any better by going back out to bid. More likely the price will be higher. So the thought was at least to start with this station, and then we could revisit the other stations at a later date.
Okay. I have, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just a point. The other 2 stations do have bathroom facilities, separate bathroom facilities for women. And that, to Gerald's point, gives us the opportunity to defer those until we can rebid them.
Okay. Mr. Baldwin, is this one of the contracts that had any technical adjustments in it, or are we all set?
It is not.
Okay.
We're all set.
So this would be done before the end of this calendar year, then, is what the expectation is?
Yes, it will.
Okay. Thank you. I've got nothing further.
And I'm the controller.
Pamela, good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
What's going on?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you,
Thank
chiefs.
you.
Thank you.
Our next item is, can I get a motion to hear and consider and authorize the purchasing authority to enter into a 2-year contract with off-duty management for admin services regarding scheduling, invoicing, payment collection, admin tasks associated with extra duty job detail assignment for the police department. I will ask for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second, and we have Chief Calamaris and Captain Granata on the line, who can explain, as well as Gerald Foley, who would like to kick it off.
Captain. I can do that. Tony Granata here.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. So our primary goal was to modernize the efficiency and accountability for which our police department manages our outside jobs while reducing financial loss and risk to the town. The process in which outside jobs are handled by our police department currently dates back, as far as I know, to like the 90s. And it's in desperate need of an upgrade to comply with employee accountability of funds, information transparency, and memorialization needs of our agency. So currently the Fairfield Police Department manually accepts outside job details from companies by phone. It does its own scheduling by phone, and it does its own invoicing and accepts all risks and costs associated with the items. The entire process, when we look to hire a police officer for an outside job, oftentimes touches upwards of a half a dozen FPD employees, and that's for every single outside job that's requested from an outside vendor. And all of it is done with paper and pencil, making it very difficult for accountability, reconciliation, memorialization, and obviously data retrieval. Lastly, the invoicing and collections functions are currently antiquated, done manually, billed and sent U.S. mail, and as soon as possible after a job is completed. Oftentimes, for reasons beyond PD control, there's really no way of tracking if the customer or vendor has received the invoice or has made payment until the check is essentially made its way to the police department. PD managers, commanders, admin assistants, currently dubbed as collections, trying to obtain the funds that were owed. And the delay in vendor payment is currently the reason the police must float an account to pay officers weekly prior to the vendor making payment. So the Fairfield Police Department, we're currently we're seeking contract with off-duty management, and off-duty management is a nationwide company. It seems to be the growing trend in policing. And it's for managing all of our outside services for the purposes of utilizing their off-duty scheduling solution. The Fairfield Police Department utilizes a number of full-time personnel to manage and administer the hiring of officers for extra duty details, along with invoicing and other administrative tasks associated with hiring an officer, as stated above, right? So the town and the police department currently accept all financial risk and other burdens as it relates to officers working for and being paid by outside contractors. And this is where it gets important. ODM administers these extra duty programs for law enforcement. It handles the administrative burden and mitigates the risk associated with such program. So ODM, or off-duty management, is a no-cost to the town solution that assists law enforcement agencies in administering and executing their off-duty program and assignments. ODM services are comprehensive, customizable, and include 24/7 customer support, managing inbound service requests, scheduling, time and attendance, payroll, and invoicing. In addition, when officers are placed on an off-duty management assignment through ODM software, each officer is covered by their comprehensive insurance program, as you can see in the contract. Lastly, contracting with ODM would make ODM responsible for the administration of all off-duty assignments. They accept job details from the vendor or company online and by phone, have 24/7 customer service, conduct all scheduling and invoices, and accept all risks and costs associated with the items. In addition, ODM is responsible for all off-duty work, assignment records, and payments. No police personnel are needed for the daily administration of the outside job. ODM handles the customer interaction, the communication for scheduling of the off-duty detail, officer payment, customer invoicing, collections, etc. In doing that, they eliminate the financial risk and limit the legal risk for our department and municipality. ODM will digitally replicate our antiquated job distribution list to officers by sequencing, bidding, fairness factors, and immediately release that to all officers. So someone earlier today had a concern about our union and if they were okay with it. Our union has been on board with us the entire time going through this contract with us. Officers have like full transparency. There's fairness in inquiring and working the outside jobs. This is accomplished by ODM software program. It's called Officer Track. It's an online web-based program, app-based program, which distributes the jobs to officers directly through the web and the online application. ODM makes payments to the town of Fairfield the day following the close of payroll, and payments to the officers are done through the town payroll system. Payments by customers for off-duty work services are made to ODM, so not to the town of Fairfield. So, for instance, if EverSource hired somebody, EverSource owes ODM the money for that job, and all debt and delinquent payments are borne by ODM. If ODM makes a mistake for which negatively impacts an officer, they pay the officer to make him or her whole. For example, if ODM mistakenly awards a detail to Officer A when the detail should have been awarded to Officer B, ODM would pay Officer B for the lost wages. ODM will provide on-site implementation training to administrators, officers, and provide post-implementation training and online support 24/7, 365. And lastly, ODM software is fully searchable, providing real-time details and historical reports for all items associated with outside jobs to administrators and managers. There's one more, obviously, the cost of it. So I said it was a no-cost solution. The cost of ODM is charged to the customer, the vendor, and that is 6.5% of the Fairfield PD outside job rate for the length of the contract. We are looking to sign for a 2-year contract with a monthly opt-out option. There might be another question that you guys would probably ask. So all the outside vendors that we typically do business with, AT&T, EverSource, Cable, Fiber, GoNet Speed, Burns Construction, all those companies would be charged 6.75% on top of our outside job fee. But when it comes to Park and Rec or DPW, Board of Education hiring, that fee is waived by ODM. I think I covered it.
Thank you, Captain. Chief, do you have anything to add?
No, thank you. I think Tony did a great job, covered everything.
Okay. Very good, thank you. I'll open it up. Tom?
Thanks. Yeah, it was very comprehensive. I appreciate that. So basically, outside the government, this is going to be an additional fee of 6.25% to cover the administration fee. Understood. When's the last time you guys reviewed the rates that you're charging outside, regardless of the 6.25? Chief, I know we built up an amount in that account. You guys just got a new contract. There's additional costs. There's all that's going on with inflation. So I just want to make sure that we're not, the town itself isn't subsidizing or losing money on these type things.
Sure. In January of last year, the Police Commission approved an increased rate to the outside job costs that has yet to be implemented as we were looking into this software solution. So at the time that this software solution gets implemented, we will not only increase our fees to, I believe, $76 per hour, which was approved.
When is that going to be enough to, I'd like the Police Commission to take a look, maybe working with Jared and his team, take a look and make sure that's covering us for the costs that are being incurred for inflation as well as the new contract, just to make sure. That's number one. And number two, when is it due to be implemented? Now that we've been waiting for a while and we have this software package now.
I can answer that question, sir. So we have about a 3 to 4 month implementation target that we want this to move.
Okay, so let's say by the end of this fiscal year, or by the end of this calendar year, let's say, I'm just going to round up, we will be implemented on this software, and we will have the new rate structure in place as well.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. What have we lost? Does anybody have the details? Mr. Schmidt, maybe. Does the town have any delinquent accounts and owing us money for work performed by the cops outside? Because this suggests, Captain, you said a couple times, hey, they bear the responsibility of collection, they bear the risk and all that, which is great, and I'm a fan of that. My question is, have we lost money on this recently? Does somebody owe us a lot of money, and what do we do to collect that?
So, you'd be surprised that even some local universities that we do business with, sometimes we have to go and make, kind of nudge them for payment at times. And it's not anyone's fault. Sometimes things are lost in translation. So, there are times where a large company would come in, like let's say we have fiber going in right now. A fiber company will hire between 10 and 20 people a day. That 10 and 20 people at 8 hours a day could add up very quickly, as you can see. Even if we consolidate all those invoices and try to get them out timely in the next 2 or 3 weeks, we're looking at upwards of $30,000 to $40,000. And that $30,000 to $40,000 is a pretty substantial hit for it not being in our account. So we want to make sure that we're receiving the money the week the work is done. And this was the best way to do it.
Tom, if I can add to that, another component of this solution is accountability. When the jobs come in, who's getting the jobs? There's a fairness rotation, where officers are. So there's a management component that assists us as managers for the outside job business, if you will.
Mm-hmm. But I don't have an answer to the question of, have we had to write any of this off? And in terms of an old outstanding balance, what is it now?
I don't have the answer for you in front of me.
Can we get that? I want to know what we're doing for the stuff that's owed, because we've obviously paid out the police for the hours worked as is appropriate, which means that the town is out of pocket for that amount of money. So we should be aware of what that amount of money is.
Well, I don't think, I mean, we had that huge surplus in that account, if you remember, Tom.
Does it? Yeah, no,
We
I know.
used to pay for the cars. So, I mean, it's not my understanding that we have a deficit or we have trouble getting payment, especially in light of the fact that there was such a huge surplus in that account, the
Well,
overtime account.
that surplus built up over a period of years, and I just want to know, because the captain raised a good point, that people are delinquent in paying us, and I just want to know how delinquent people are, and or if we ever have a write-off where we don't get paid for and regardless of what our overage is, there's still, if there's more money owed that somebody's not paying, we should know that, particularly before we agree to provide more service to them without getting paid. That's all. So, other than that, this sounds like a good tool, and I'm in favor to it. But if somebody could report back to me on those things, I'd appreciate it.
Sure, I'll have Jared send you an email with some information.
Yeah. Thank you. And best of luck. I know you guys have had a lot of special projects on your plate over the last year and a half or whatever with the ECC and the like. So good luck getting this implemented. I look forward to hearing what a success it is. So thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Okay, no further discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Madam Selectman, Mr. Flynn?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry, you asked me to chime in when there was an agreement that had technical changes. So just to bring it to your attention, there was very technical changes. Section 1.1, they reference the city of Tallahassee, which is obviously a mistake. 4.2, we just wanted to add a reference to the Freedom of Information Act. And 8.3, delete reference to jurisdiction over any litigation being in the federal district courts and have it in the Connecticut federal courts instead. And the chief, Calamaris, is going to see that all happens.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. Sorry we jumped the gun.
No problem.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thanks, guys.
All right, next item. I think you're off the hook, Chief. And Captain.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next item is item number 9. Can I get a motion to hear and consider and authorize purchasing authority to enter into a contract with Land Tech for design service for the preparation and design and construction of the Roger Ledlow Middle School turf field? Obviously, we know a lot about this. We talked about this quite a bit. This is in the amount not to exceed $73,225. You have a motion?
So moved.
Second. And Anthony?
I really don't have much to add to this project. You guys have heard the presentation, and this is essentially for the design services portion. So we put that out to bid soon.
So, Anthony, when will they consider? When is it anticipated that this will all be completed?
Well, once we get this contract on, these guys will do the design. That should take them probably a month or so. We'll put that out to bid, and then we'll get the construction company on board, which again, you'll see us, I'm sure, before that starts anyway, too. So a lot of hoops to jump through.
Yeah, do we see construction on this type of stuff? Is it estimated that it'll be in the fall to be ready for the spring, or is it going to be?
Yes, that's the goal.
Yeah, okay, that's what I figured. Okay, is this going to interfere? Do you have any like tournaments lined up that we have to wait to be done, like Labor Day or anything like that? Is that?
Oh no, my staff has already cleared the schedule at Ludlow. There's nothing going to be played on Ludlow this summer due to the roofing project that the school's doing, and then nothing for the fall because we're anticipating construction.
Got it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'm all good.
Very good. Thanks, Anthony. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously.
The next one is in C2, just under there. Adoption of rules. I know I discussed this with the member of the board of education.
Attorney Baldwin.
Mandating rules.
I know Attorney Baldwin is wearing 2 hats right now because
I'm sorry.
he's trying to be on that charter meeting and this meeting. So mute yourself.
I apologize.
Sorry about that. I wish I could be listening to it myself. Okay. Very good.
I just have to bring to your attention, though, that on that last agreement, you were talking about the fields for the. Is that right?
Yes.
Number 9, that also has some technical changes that needed to be made commensurate with the terms of the RFP in terms of the payments, which in their proposed contract said 15 days and the RFP said 30 days, and their and deletion of a limitation on damages clause, which is also going to be corrected.
Thank you. Okay, maybe we can catch this charter meeting. Okay, our next item, number 10. Can I get a motion to consider and authorize purchasing authority to enter into a contract with Van Zelm Haywood Shadford for engineering designs for the preparation, design, construction, documentation for replacement of 2 boilers at Burr Elementary School per the RFP, and the amount not to exceed $25,900. And can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second, and we have Angela. Well, I think I saw Sal, not Angelus. Hi,
Hey.
Sal.
Hi, how are you?
Good, nice to see you.
Angela's had a conflict, so I'm
Sure,
staying.
very good. And we have Gerald on as well. Sal, did you want to just give a brief overview?
Yeah, it's time to replace boilers at Burr Elementary. I know everybody knows the building as our newest elementary school, but it's pressing 20 years old, and the boilers are having issues. Van Zelm won the quote on the contract, and we'd like to contract with them and get this design as soon as we can.
So I remember this item. I'm sorry, Madam First Selectwoman. I remember the item. I don't need to go through it anymore. We discussed it at length previously. I guess the only question I would have is, I'm assuming there's nothing in the contract or nothing about the RFP process that was that we should be aware of or that was different?
No, we had gone out to a formal solicitation. We had multiple companies participate. We ranked all of the firms, and as Sal alluded to, the Van Zelm came in with a very competitive fee, and we thought it was in our best interest to recommend an award to them.
Okay. And then I'm assuming since Mr. Baldwin's not piping in that there was nothing, Mr. Morbido, is there anything that's come out in the contract discussions that are different?
No, pretty
Okay.
pretty standard.
Great. I'm all set, Madam First Selectwoman.
Very good, thank you. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I don't know if it makes, I voted on this thing, I think, on the RTM, so I'm feeling extraordinarily old right now. Just saying.
Thank you for your vote.
No comment.
We had fun. We were doing a lot of stuff. We were building schools and tearing
Sure.
schools down, putting 2 new high schools up. We were on a roll.
There you go. All right, thank you for your
comment.
vote.
All right.
Vote then and for your vote tonight.
All
Appreciate
right,
it.
very good.
Thank you for the contract.
All right.
Thank you.
All right,
Take
thank
care.
you.
Bye.
All right, thank you. Nice to see you, Christine. Next item, motion to hear and consider and authorize purchasing authority to enter into the contract for Race Coastal Engineering for engineering design services for preparation of the construction documents for repair Perry's Green Bulkhead Culvert. My goodness, this thing was on. Bill, how long did you tell me this thing was on that water?
Oh, since the 80s.
Oh, yes. So what a great thing. Okay.
It's finally
so
getting its
obviously-
time.
Yeah,
Please
obviously
do.
we voted on this item. This was, so this is just the contract not to exceed 126,640. Motion to approve. And this is the ARPA money that we put in for.
So moved.
That's correct.
Second. Okay. Well, I mean, we had a full airing of this thing during the ARPA, but
Yeah.
you want to just briefly talk about it, Bill?
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. Bill Hurley, and I'm here with Gerald Foley to answer any questions you might have regarding the proposed Perry's Green Bulkhead project and the pending contract with Race Coastal Engineering. The Perry's Green Bulkhead project is located in Southport, adjacent to the Pequot Yacht Club along Harbor Road. The project also includes a stone culvert repair and repairs to the tide flapgate structure near the intersection of Harbor Road and Westway Road. Reviewing the contract bid proposals, Fairfield Engineering and Purchasing recommend awarding the project to the low bidder for phases 1, 2, 4, and 5. Phase 3 was removed based on engineering and an independent consultant's site investigation and condition assessment of the culvert underneath Harbor Road, recommending repair rather than replacement. So this based on site restrictions, utility conflicts, permits, and the condition of the culvert. We are recommending Race be awarded the contract as they are the low bidder. The second low bidder was close, but they also had a potential for a handful of extra costs, making the delta between the two proposals a little bit further apart. The low bid proposal came very close to the engineering estimate of $100,000 for the design and $120,000 for the design and inspection, and the anticipated purchase order is going to be $126,640. Gerald and I are here to answer any questions.
Thank you. I'll open it up. Tom?
So, guys, this is within budget for these projects. Is that what you're saying, or is it a little over budget?
It was like $1,000, $2,000 more than our estimate, and the ARPA has it over $1 million. When the design is completed, we'll have the engineer's estimate of probable cost, and then we go from there. But that was good news in that a little bit less design and more repair for the other two components rather than the bulkhead, which is the one everyone remembers very dangerous with the sharp steel edges. We're hoping that the proposal is still within budget, but we'll have a better idea when the plans are done. And we'll, of
Okay.
course, give everybody updates on that.
How long is it going to take to get the plans done here and stuff?
The plans are probably 6 months, but there's always permitting involved as well. So we're figuring about a year. That's what we were
Got it.
figuring.
So you'll be back before us for more funds when?
If
mean-
need be, if need be.
Not more funds. I didn't mean it like that. I meant for the next phase. Next phase.
Right,
of
or we would
contract.
just give you an update saying that the 1 million set aside for ARPA is
Right.
enough. Mhm,
Okay.
that's correct.
Yeah. All right. I'm good.
Thank you. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
Bill. All right, our last item. Motion to hear and consider purchasing authority enter into a contract for all electric construction communication LLC to design, build, and supply and install new electric EV charging stations at Sullivan Independence Hall. This is also, as you recall, part of our ARPA funding, and this is part of the electric cars replacing our Crown Victorians. And this portion is the stations at Independence Hall, and this is not to exceed 209, 710, and that's it.
Wait. So this is. I'm sorry. I'm trying to read
230.
this.
That's 230. I'm sorry, not the grand total because part of it's 20,000 for the combined.
Got it.
So it's 230, 681. This was all in backup. Do I have a
Yeah.
motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. You have any questions, Tom?
Yeah, I do on this item. So these charging stations at Sullivan Independence Hall, are they strictly to be used by town cars?
Yes.
Yes.
So the public, basically with the cost of electricity and everything, well, these are all great ideas. I don't want to be paying for I don't want taxpayers to be paying for the public to get free, for individuals to get their car charged for free.
Yeah,
Can
James
we-
can speak on this, but he told me that you have to punch in a code, and so it's only going to be used by our fleet.
Is that what's going on here? That's
Yeah, that's correct.
okay. How many of these are there again? Remind me. if you don't
20.
mind.
Yeah, total of 20.
Okay. All right. When will these be installed?
Well, we're working right now on that. Our longest lead time is with the electricity. These units require a transformer. And so the transformer, due to the size, right now we're being quoted 40 weeks.
Okay.
But we're working with UI to shorten that lead time. So we'll know probably within a couple weeks if we can trim any time off of that. We're optimistically hoping that by the end of the calendar year, that these systems will be in and fully operational. It might be in as soon as 90 days, but optimistically, because of the issues with this transformer, we're going to allow a little bit longer lead times.
Okay. I appreciate it. Is Mr. Baldwin have anything on this, or Mr. Foley, anything else we need to know about this item?
No, just as the issue back to the components of the system, if the electricity was here and in place, it was only, I think it's an 8-week lead time on the components of the system. So our
Yeah.
longest lead time is electricity.
Yeah, no, I got that from what you said.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, so no other things that I can add, unless Jim had something he wanted to add.
No, yeah, so we could actually start and do some infrastructure, trenching, piping in the ground and all that till we get to this transformer. So there may be some movement there, in the back of Independence Hall, in 8 weeks when we have some material. But the big electrical stuff is got a longer lead time.
I appreciate that very much. Thank you. I'm all set.
All right, very good. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. And before I ask for a motion to adjourn, I just want to bring up that as we all heard, Attorney Baldwin was on with the charter. I believe tonight is their last meeting. And so things are moving very quickly now because there's a lot of sort of protocols when you have to have things done by to have before it's on the ballot. I know we had to try to accommodate schedules. I know Selectwoman Lefkowitz had specific issues, and I know, Tom, you did. So we are, I know Jennifer, I just want to say Jennifer did send, I think, an email out talking about Monday, the 27th at 4 o'clock and Wednesday, the 29th. So we want to have 2 meetings on this so that we can have a discussion on these items and then the public hearing on the following day, because I know there's some sort of.
So the public hearing is going to be at like 4 o'clock on Wednesday. Is that right? Or
no, I'm going to make it at 5:30. That's
okay.
the proposal. So hopefully, I mean, I think we may have some comments too on Monday, but I haven't squared that away yet. But definitely the public hearing on Wednesday. But I just wanted to just mention that because I know that they kind of got delayed a little because there was some members who had some illnesses and stuff.
Yep.
So they were pushed off to today, and then we had to try to accommodate your and Nancy's schedule. So we're kind of like right up against it.
Yep.
So that's it.
Right. I'll motion to adjourn.
Second.
Take care, everybody.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Have a good night.
All right, good night, everyone.